Welcome to today's recipe. In this recipe, we'll be making a delicious homemade mustard sauce from scratch. It's tangy, flavorful, and incredibly easy to make with just a few ingredients you probably already have at home. Whether you're using it as a dip, marinade, or spread, this mustard sauce will elevate any dish. So, grab your ingredients and let's dive into the process. Alright, let's start with the ingredients for this homemade mustard sauce. First, grab half a cup of yellow mustard seeds, or brown if you prefer a bolder flavor. You'll also need a quarter cup of mustard powder for smoothness and 1/2 teaspoon of turmeric for that beautiful golden color. Add 1/2 teaspoon of salt to balance the flavors, plus a little garlic powder and paprika if you like a hint of extra flavor. For the wet ingredients, we'll need half a cup of apple cider vinegar, which brings that tangy kick. Add 1/3 cup of water to adjust the consistency, and don't forget 2 tablespoons of honey for a touch of sweetness. Finally, finish it off with 2 tablespoons of vegetable oil to smooth everything out. Now we're ready to mix and blend. Let's start by preparing our mustard seeds. Grab half a cup of mustard seeds, yellow for a milder flavor, or brown if you want something with a little more heat. Now, place them in a bowl and pour half a cup of apple cider vinegar over the seeds. This will help soften them and bring out the full mustard flavor. Cover the bowl with a lid or a cloth and let it sit at room temperature for 24 to 48 hours. The soaking process is crucial because it allows the seeds to swell and soften, making them easier to blend later. You can stir the mixture once or twice during this time to make sure all the seeds get soaked evenly. After that, you'll be ready to move on to the next step. Now that the mustard seeds have soaked, it's time to blend everything together. Take your soaked mustard seeds and vinegar mixture and transfer it to a blender or food processor. Add a quarter cup of mustard powder to give the sauce an extra smooth texture. Now, toss in 1/2 teaspoon of turmeric powder for that golden color, along with 1/2 teaspoon of salt to bring out the flavor. If you want a bit of a kick, you can add 1/2 teaspoon of garlic powder and 1/4 teaspoon of paprika for a smoky touch. Start blending everything on a low setting and gradually increase the speed until you reach your desired consistency. You can go for a smooth sauce or leave it a bit grainy, depending on your preference. Don't forget to scrape down the sides if needed. As you blend, you might find the mustard mixture a little too thick. No worries, this is where you can adjust the consistency to your liking. Slowly add 1/3 cup of water while blending, a little bit at a time, until you get the texture you want. If you like a thinner mustard sauce, feel free to add more water. Just keep blending until it's smooth and well combined. You want a consistency that will easily spread or dip without being too runny. If it's too thin, you can always blend a little more mustard powder to thicken it up. This is your chance to perfect the texture, so take your time. Now, this step is optional, but if you want a smoother, creamier mustard sauce, we'll cook the mixture just a little bit. Pour the blended mustard into a small saucepan and place it on the stove over low heat. You'll want to simmer it for about 5 to 10 minutes, stirring constantly to prevent it from sticking to the bottom of the pan. This gentle heat helps thicken the sauce and blend the flavors together even more. As you stir, you can see the mustard starting to thicken up, and the aroma will begin to fill your kitchen. You'll also notice that the mustard flavor is mellowing out a little, which is perfect. Just make sure the heat is low, so it doesn't burn or lose its tang. Now we're going to balance out that tangy mustard with a bit of sweetness. Add 2 tablespoons of honey to the mixture. The honey will not only sweeten the sauce, but also give it a beautiful, smooth finish. As you stir in the honey, you'll notice the mustard becoming a little silkier. Next, pour in 2 tablespoons of vegetable oil to help emulsify the sauce and give it a rich, smooth texture. Continue stirring the sauce for another minute or so, ensuring everything is well incorporated. If the mustard is a little too thick at this point, you can add a splash more of water or vinegar to adjust the flavor to your liking. This is where you can really make it your own. Alright, our mustard sauce is almost done. Now it's time to let it cool. Once the sauce has finished simmering, take it off the heat and allow it to cool completely. This will help the flavors settle and meld together. After it's cool, taste the sauce. This is your chance to adjust the flavor. If you like it a little tangier, add a splash more vinegar. For more sweetness, a little extra honey will do the trick. Once you're happy with the flavor, transfer the mustard sauce to a sterilized glass jar or bottle. Store it in the refrigerator and let it sit for about 1 to 2 days to let the flavors develop even further. It'll last for 1 to 2 months if kept properly, and the longer it sits, the better it gets. Lastly, here are a few tips to perfect your mustard sauce. For flavor variations, try adding horseradish or wasabi powder if you like some heat, or mix in fresh dill or tarragon for a unique herbal twist. As for shelf life, your homemade mustard can last 1 to 2 months in the refrigerator if stored in a sealed jar. For consistency control, if you want a thicker sauce, simply reduce the water or vinegar. If you prefer a milder flavor, swap brown mustard seeds for yellow mustard seeds. And be careful not to overheat. Too much heat can cause the mustard to lose its sharp flavor, so always cook on low heat. Finally, enjoy your homemade mustard sauce as a dip, marinade, or spread.